Have you wondered about living elsewhere in your retirement? Well, we have almost daily. No, it's not a simple decision, especially when two people are involved.
Hi, this is
Gil
and Gene of Retire There, a podcast about retirement destinations. We live in Brooklyn, New York. Having grown up and worked in this area of the country, we're hoping to relocate when we're both retired. For us, it's the weather, the chaos, the noise, and the yearning to be near nature and not within 3 feet of human beings.
That's right. In February 2020, we embarked on our journey to find that special place. We spent a week in Winter Park, Florida, which is beautiful, but something said it wasn't for us. As we were planning for the next trip, the pandemic arrived. Gene then gave birth.
I gave birth?
To this podcast. With so many baby boomers retiring, many must be relocating. Why not connect with and learn from them?
Here's a little background about us.
I'm Asian, born in Brazil, and grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn. I'm an engineer turned attorney turned podcaster. I recently retired from a university career practicing higher education law. I loved the academic environment, but it was time to do something else. I no longer have to set an alarm, drive in BQE traffic, or work with people who don't always share the same principles. Oh, did I just say that? You bet I did. I traded all that in to binge crime dramas into the wee hours, just a little bit, to develop the podcast, to volunteer, practice metalsmithing, tackle our possessions. No regrets so far. Gene?
I'm not Asian, and as Gil mentioned, I'm not retired. I'm just plain tired.
Oh.
Born and raised in Long Island, New York, a place I always wanted to leave. I'm a law librarian working in a court who loves his job, but we're retired by the time we select our ideal location. We will be speaking to folks from across the street to across the globe who have moved to their dream venues and more. So please stay tuned, and remember, if you know anyone who has moved anywhere for retirement, let us know.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Today we'll be chatting with Bradley Roberts, who relocated from San Francisco, California to Lincoln, Kansas.
Crazy.
The heartland of America, aka Middle America. I checked on Google Earth, and it is, in fact, in the middle of America. Wow. I can't say I've been there, though I've been to cities all around it. According to LincolnKS.com, Lincoln is located at the intersection of highways K14 and K18, originally named Lincoln Center and known as the post-rock capital of Kansas. Post-rock is also known as fence post limestone, for those of you who are interested in what I was talking about, not rock music or anything. This beautiful community is situated on rolling hills overlooking the Saline River and boasts beautiful post-rock buildings throughout its downtown area, including the county courthouse, which was built in 1900 out of local limestone. One of the major local industries continues to be quarrying quartzite, which I happen to know because I also make jewelry. According to the 2020 census, there were 1,209 people in all of Lincoln. We found this story fascinating, as Bradley will share. Bradley was like many people in the Bay Area, savvy, successful, and overwhelmed in housing expenses. Is he no longer savvy? Okay.
We'll find out.
In his interview with The Hustle, when he purchased his San Francisco house about 15 years ago, he went $300,000 over budget. Rent at his last place was about $4,000 a month. In Lincoln, Bradley bought a converted barn home in the middle of town and paid, guess what, Gene?
See it.
$22,000. $22,000.
I get a car for that.
You can't. Okay. Bradley said when he moved to Kansas, holy shit, they're giving stuff away. Yes, there is free land for the asking. And we will link in the show notes all this information because there are a lot of questions. And apparently, price-conscious urbanites have been drawn to places they never thought they could live. The article continues to state, after a year of soaring real estate prices in every city and suburb, long depressed and depopulated Kansas is going through a lower-key real estate boom of its own. Jane?
So, as Gil mentioned, there's free land in Lincoln, Kansas. Yes, I said free. The city is investing ambitiously in the future with free land offers in a completely new subdivision located near a baseball field, the city park, and a new junior-senior high school and athletic facilities. It's an easy walk to the industrial park and medical complex, and not far from either downtown or the golf course. Lincoln's traditions date back to the 1870s, but its focus is on the future. Bradley was born in Wichita, Kansas, and raised in Shawnee, a suburb of Kansas City. He attended Kansas State University. He owned a floral business for 20 years in San Francisco,
Cool.
and then shifted to construction work and has his own company now. He hasn't retired yet, but works when he wants. His interests include antiquing, cycling, home remodeling, and hanging out with his dog and cat. Oh, both. Pretty good. Bradley, welcome to Retire There. By the way, this next line, I just want to warn everyone, was written by Gil. So here we go.
I did not say that.
This next line.
No. Oh,
I didn't
maybe I
write that.
did.
Yeah, I think
okay.
you did.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because I'm not taking credit for this. But here
All
we
right.
go. Bradley, I hope you didn't leave your heart in San Francisco. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I had to say that. So we understand your grandparents are from Lincoln, but why did you move there?
Well, I moved here in 2020. So I've been here 2 years. So I moved here in June of 2020. So it was the height of the pandemic. I had just spent a year in Kansas City getting my mother's home remodeled and ready for sale because she didn't live there any longer. So I'd worked for her basically for a year, and we sold the house, and I didn't have a job and no place to live.
Wow.
So she's like, "Why don't you go and live at Grandma and Grandpa's?" And I'm like, "Ugh." I mean, I do it. I'm in Lincoln. I have fond memories from visiting Grandma and Grandpa for over the years. So I thought, well, you know what? I'll come out here for a couple of months, get Grandma and Grandpa's home up to par, and then we can just, we can sell it. Well, then I started helping ladies around town. Then that just kind of snowballed into a handyman business. So it's actually called Bradley Honeydew. I see my T-shirt here.
Honeydew.
Bradley Honeydew, and our tagline is, "We'll do what your honey don't."
Oh.
And, so I now have 4 employees. We do everything from painting to roofing, drywall, floor refinishing, complete remodels. And I can't believe it, there is a lot of business here.
Yes.
My expectations were very low when I moved here. I am amazed with how I have blossomed here and how the community has accepted me. I am related to pretty much half the town, but yeah.
I love it.
When your family, your family is one of the founding members.
Oh,
Wow.
I don't think we went over that. Did we?
No.
You're related to half the town?
Well, I mean, in some way or another, by marriage or not all by blood. Yes.
Okay.
If there's a group of 4 people, I am related to at least one.
Oh my God.
So and we can. And usually I'll get my mother on the phone and she can tell me exactly.
Wow.
She'll say, "Oh, well, yes, so she married so-so, blah, blah, blah."
You feel at home because we were just saying to each other earlier that who moves from San Francisco to Kansas and
a little town
just
in Kansas,
settles in and goes off and gets work. Bradley.
Well, I've always been a go-getter. So no matter, I can pretty much fit in anywhere I go. San Francisco was getting to be a bit pricey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was expensive when I moved there. I moved there when I was 24,
mm-hmm.
and it was expensive then.
Right.
But you kind of get used to it. So you you grow with, you find more work or you. Yeah. I don't know how we do it, but
mm-hmm.
you do it.
Right.
Well, when I was finally about ready to leave, my rent was $4,000 a month.
Wow.
That's incredible.
And that it just was getting to be too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, I was nearing 50. So I thought that maybe it might be time to come home and be closer to my mother.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. Very nice. Yeah. But you did work in one industry, the floral industry, for 20 years. how does one go from that to doing roof work? Did you have any kind of background?
Well, so when I was 10 years old, my brother Monty, who was 10 years older than I was, he was 20, he started a painting business called A-Team Painting. And and he had just gotten out of the Marines, and I was so excited that he was back home, and he would get me out of school to go help him paint houses.
Oh, wow.
So he would write the notes. So we finally got in trouble because we were painting a house in Overland Park, and it was a third story, and I was painting underneath an eave. A neighbor saw, and of course that neighbor happened to know my mother. So
Okay.
she got a call. Yeah, so I started in kind of home remodel when I was 10.
Got it.
But I've always kind of been in a design, whether it be in retail or, with my flower shop. I've always kind of been design oriented or design minded.
So you didn't have to get any more training or go to school for any of that.
So here's what I normally do so businesses that I have had, I tend to hire people with knowledge.
Smart.
So I practice on my own home. I learned how to tile. I've learned how to, do drywall, refinish floors, all by working on my home first.
Right.
And watching, of course, YouTube videos or asking friends.
Yes. Okay. Are you on TikTok by chance? Just kidding.
I've done one TikTok video.
You have?
So let's get down to the nitty gritty. What kind of home did you get for $22,000 in Lincoln, Kansas?
So as I mentioned, I was living in my grandparents' home, and a friend of mine lived up the street just a block away, and she was going to move to Wichita to be closer to her kids. So she owned a 1910 barn that had been converted into a home. It's basically a 3-bedroom house. It's about 900 square feet, kind of small, but it's on a double lot. She told me that when she bought the house, she got a really good deal, and the owners were really nice, and they didn't want to gouge her, and so she in turn told me that she wanted to give me a really good price. So she just wanted to pay off her loan. So
wow,
that's what we did.
So do you have to do a lot to the house, or can you move into it?
Well, so it had gone into a little bit of disrepair, so I had to refinish some hardwood floors and, of course, paint the walls. So I did those things and was able to move in. I still need to redo the bathroom, and I'm slowly working on the outside and, on the siding and painting. But my home is always the last to be worked on, of course.
Of course.
So you will, and of course, and I live on Main Street. And I'm in a construction business. So when people drive by my house, they see, the front of my house is almost painted, but not quite done.
Okay. And they're like, hire this guy.
I know, because my phone will just ring off the hook. And I really want to spend time to finish my home, but I have a hard time saying no.
Yes.
Right.
Well, that's very good.
That's nice.
Good.
Yeah, that's nice.
And you're making money. Hey, who can turn that away?
Seriously, I am really. It's funny because there are 3 or 4 new businesses within the last couple of years that are in construction here in Lincoln, and we're all doing so well.
Oh,
nice! And we all work together, and it's just there's enough business here for us all to be here for a long time. And there's they're neighboring.
Right. That's great.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So you seem to have gotten a deal on your house. So let's say you don't know this woman. How much would you pay for a house, you think, for a decent house in Lincoln these days?
Okay, so like a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house will run you depending on the condition, in the 70 to 100.
That's it?
Wow.
3-bedroom. Okay. Nice.
So we just had, and seriously, homes do not stay on the market. We just had a home. It was a 5-bedroom home sold for 150. I think that's high end.
Wow.
Around here. Another house was on the market for 2 days at 135, and it was I think it was a 3-bedroom, but it was a 2-story beautifully redone, and homes are pretty inexpensive.
Okay.
That's
Now,
great.
On the flip side, we are in the middle of Kansas.
Right.
We're not in the actual center of the United States. That would be it's around Smith Center, but we're Lincoln Center, which is pretty close.
And the homes are built around what year? These homes that are going for these low prices.
So the house that I'm in right now, which is my grandparents' house, was built in 1967.
Oh,
And I think we're going to put it on the market for around 75. It still needs a little bit of work. I just don't have time to do it.
Right.
oh, wow. So
75. Wow.
can you give us a sense, our audience, a sense of what the amenities run in Lincoln? For example, utilities, gas, taxes, land, and that, anything you can think of.
Utilities, my utilities. Okay, so the city of Lincoln has its own power source.
Mm-hmm.
So we pay power, water, and trash to the city. So they take care of all that. And mine runs about $110 to $150 a month.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's water, electric, and trash removal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then gas, of course, that just ranges. I mean, I would say it's around $100 maybe.
Okay. And that would be a lot because, you have to cook and for the heat and okay. What about internet, Wi-Fi?
We have high-speed internet. We have Vive broadband. I think it works just great.
Mm-hmm. And what do they run price-wise?
Oh, I think it's like $50 or something like that a month.
Okay.
So it's not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I just have the basic internet or the high-speed internet.
Okay.
I don't have. They also do telephone. So.
Okay, got it.
Do you know what the cost is for renting a place in Lincoln?
Sure. Now it ranges. There are a couple lofts downtown.
Wow.
And so one of my workers just rented one of those, and it's $350 a month.
Oh my goodness.
A loft?
For
Wow.
a loft.
It's
big.
It's big. Is it like an old industrial building or factory or warehouse?
It's just an old building downtown, and it's above the bank, or one of the banks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a couple of those down there. There's a couple of Airbnbs, same situation.
Mm-hmm.
Homes range from like 4 to 7, 800 a month.
Wow.
800.
Great.
800 would be the high end.
Okay.
There's a house that was originally an Airbnb, and it was a 4-bedroom house, and it's rented for 800.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
All right. Now my next question that I'm really interested in. Is Lincoln really giving away free land?
You bet.
Tell.
So what they've done is they've designated an area on the northeast side of town.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, Lincoln is 1 square mile.
Oh my goodness.
What? I think we should have said that at the beginning, Gene. Okay. Yeah.
If you go on a little bit of a walk at night, you can see the whole town.
Okay, got it.
Anyway, they have designated 2 cul-de-sacs, and they have run power and water. They've run utilities there. So all you need to do is build a home. Mm-hmm. And of course, there are building codes and things like that, but the land is free.
Wait, are people taking them? Are people moving into them?
Well, there's actually there's 2 homes right now. One is a former mayor and his wife bought a plot, and then there's another house that they built it, but no one lives there, but they're planning to retire here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
What are taxes like there? Real estate taxes?
Yeah, I don't think and I'm not going to be able to really tell you. It's
that's
not
fine.
that.
Okay.
State is built into my loan. Of course, it's funny. My house loan is $276 a month. But I like to round it up, so we just do 300.
Okay. Very good.
Just like San Francisco.
Yeah, right.
I mean, seriously, 1 month's rent in San Francisco is 1 year's mortgage in Lincoln.
Oh
Wow.
my God. Wow. Wow. Do you regret not moving there sooner?
I always wanted to move back here. I really enjoyed visiting here, my grandparents and all my family. And my brother and I had joked, about opening up a bowling alley here, and we were going to actually name it after our great-great-great-grandfather and call it Christ Bowling.
Oh, hey, is that still in the works?
No, it's not still in the works, but I've always kind of dreamed of moving here, and it just happened that I was able to do it.
Yeah, so the timing was just right.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Can you talk about healthcare in the area? I heard you mention a couple is going to move there. We just read an article yesterday that there's a shortage of physicians in certain parts of the country. And I'm wondering if you can talk about that.
We do have physicians, so we're good here. I think we're in the county seat, so we have the county hospital is here.
Oh, wow.
And we're lucky to have that here. We also have a nursing home facility as well, with long-term care and what have you. So we're lucky on that. We also have dentists, an eye doctor. We have all the basic. The hospital is great. I have some cousins that work up there. I've been there. I had to go to what did I have? Anyway, it was just so easy to get in because since we're such a community, there's no wait time. I mean, with a town of 1,200, we're pretty lucky like that. Whereas if you were in a bigger city, there would be maybe 1,200 in the emergency room.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
What if you needed to go to a hospital that had more specialists? How far would you have to go?
Well, so there, Salina is the nearest bigger city, and that's it has a regional airport and what have you, and that's about 45 minutes from here. Now, KU Medical is pretty big around here in Kansas, of course, for KU. The biggest it being in Kansas City, but there's also in Hayes, which is about an hour and a half from here. So there are hospitals. There's another hospital in Ellsworth, which is about 30 miles from here. So there are regional hospitals and then some larger university hospitals as well.
Well, that's not bad.
Okay. Wherever we ultimately move to, so we want to make sure we have all the whatever we need in place and not wait 6 months to get an appointment with the primary care. Because, we've heard from some of our guests that could be an issue. So they wind up going to an urgent care. And, you don't necessarily want to do that if you don't have to. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. You mentioned an airport. Where's that airport? And then please tell us where the nearest international airport is.
Do you want to know where the Lincoln Municipal Airport is?
Does that have commercial flights?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, it's just for farming. So
right. Oh, okay.
What?
For farming.
For farming.
Yeah, for farming. So for pesticides and what have you.
To fly over.
Down. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But, so there's a regional airport in Salina and in Hayes.
Okay.
As I said, 45 minutes. Hayes, hour and a half. An hour and a half to the south is Wichita, which is an international airport.
Oh.
And then Kansas City, which is 3 hours.
Okay.
3 hours.
Okay. How far is Wichita?
I don't know the miles, but it's an hour and a half. I've gone there to fly out. It's pretty nice.
Okay. So you basically have to fly out of the regional, connect at an international if you wanted to go to Europe, let's say.
You could, right. And I would say that it would probably just be easier to go, just to drive to Wichita, which is what I normally do.
I see.
The regional, I'm more of a person. I don't want to have too many legs on my trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. Okay. I didn't know which was the norm, if you will. Okay.
Yeah. No, if you're going to go to Europe or to the East or West Coast, you would probably go to Wichita or to Kansas.
Got it.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. That sounds great so far, but how's the weather in Lincoln, Kansas?
Well, it can get very, very cold and very, very hot. So we have 100-degree weather during the summer, and it's humid.
Oh, it is humid.
It is humid. Yes. So there's lots of air conditioning.
Good.
You got to make sure you have your air conditioner charged in your car. But like this week, it's only in the 80s, which is not bad at all.
Okay. 80s and humid, not bad.
It's not. Well, yeah. I mean, it's not terrible.
Okay.
And then it can get down to. 2 years ago it was negative 18 or something like that for a couple of days. But it's really never like that. That was just kind of some strange cold snap.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does it snow a lot?
It doesn't snow a whole lot. We're kind of lucky here in Lincoln. We kind of, I don't know, there's some strange thing around Lincoln that we don't get a lot of storms.
Nice.
So we get some snow, but it's not a whole lot. Now, if you go south a little bit to I-70, which is the major highway, which is only 14 miles away, they do get a lot of snow because the storms tend to go right down I-70.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's the location. Right. Would you say the city, and, I guess because it's so small, we can include the surrounding neighborhoods, if you will. For those who are interested in retiring there, is it a walkable city, or do you need a car?
Well, I would say that you would, in the heat, of course. You don't have to have a car. It just depends on where you live. The grocery store is right downtown. And, there are a couple of shops down there, a coffee shop and some restaurants. Mm-hmm. And so if you live, I could definitely be without a car if I didn't have to have one for work.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if I were retired, right. I could definitely, because I live a block from the courthouse and 2 blocks from the center of town, basically.
Oh, okay. So that's convenient, right?
Is there any public transportation?
There is not. However, there is. There is. There's a county transportation. So if you don't have an automobile and you need to get to a doctor's in Salina, let's say, you can reserve a space, and they will drive you there for $5.
Wow, that's nice.
I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. And I was talking to the gal that runs it, Bobby, and she said that she would even take me to Wichita.
No.
Wow.
For $5? Get out. It's like an hour away. Because you have a special deal.
It's subsidized. So, it's to help those in need.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Is that really for the elderly people, the retirees, or for everybody?
I have a guy that works for me, and he doesn't have a license, and he needs, sometimes he needs to go someplace, and you just have to plan ahead.
Right.
It's just one vehicle.
That's great.
Oh, it's just one vehicle.
And are there taxis in town?
No.
No
taxis. There are no taxis.
Yeah. Okay. There are no taxis.
Okay. What about
Uber or
no Uber?
No Uber.
I can answer that.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Wow. Well, this is so good. No, this is what we want to know.
This is great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get a car.
Are many of the downtown storefronts empty?
There are a lot of empty storefronts. However, in the last couple of years, and I don't want to say that I'm spearheading anything, but I am a big backer of new businesses here in town. And of course, I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and, I try to, do what I can to help the community. But we have 2 new restaurants that have opened on Main Street in the last year, which is amazing. And another restaurant opened at that junction you were telling everyone about, the Highway 14 and 18.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So a gentleman bought the Post Rock Motel, and he is from Nepal, and so he decided to open a Himalayan restaurant.
How cool!
So good. It's so good.
My God, you guys are lucky. Very lucky. And the town is lucky to have you. You're bringing in all this, good stuff, right? Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Which leads me to the next question. So there's Himalayan or Nepalese food. What's the diversity like of the food or the scene?
Okay. So we have Biggie Bigs, which is pizza.
Okay.
So they're open Thursday through Sunday, I believe. Oh. We have Frankie's Country Mex. So it's kind of a mixture of Southern soul and Mexican. It's really good. They have so many really good things, and they do a lot of baking so that you can get custom cakes and cupcakes and cookies and all kinds of fun things.
Oh, wow.
Then we have Violet, which is a coffee shop and bakery. And she does lunch, sandwiches to go and things like that. We have the Hungry Hunter, which is breakfast and lunch, and they're open late one day a week for their fried chicken day, which is Thursday. And I think that's it.
Okay. That's a good number of places.
The VFW does have steak night once a month. So
the VFW. Are you, by the way, I know you've been there back and forth, so maybe this isn't a fair question, but no culture shock?
Well, sure. I mean, when I lived in San Francisco, I lived the corner of 14th and Castro. So, I mean, I was right in the heart of the city, almost the center of the city. Mm-hmm. And, like right across the street, I had a fruit stand with fresh juices and sandwiches.
Yeah. Mm-hmm,
I did those things, and coffee shops, and I could walk a few blocks. And if I wanted to meet friends, that we could meet out, and there was, dozens and dozens of restaurants and wine shops and everything.
Right.
So here, it's a little different. You kind of need to plan ahead because a lot of things aren't open late.
Yeah.
And, with the new restaurants, they have kind of worked out a system so that we now have a restaurant open every day of the week.
Oh.
So there was a void for like Mondays and Tuesdays. So so we kind of got them together, and now we have food every single day.
Oh man, I think you're the next mayor. You're going to be the mayor.
Someone has told me that. I don't think I can do that.
You can. Of course you can. I know you can.
I don't know.
And what about this? This would really hook me in. Is there a movie theater in town?
There is. The Finch Theater. Yes. I happen to be on the board of directors of the theater.
Of course you are.
Well, it's a small town. We have the
Yeah. He's a Roberts. Yeah.
We get first run movies. It's a small theater, and a lot of the smaller towns have a one screen theater, and we all kind of show the same movie each time. That's kind of how it works, because we, you have to kind of pool together to rent the movies, and there's a draw. It's kind of a complicated formula, but yeah, no, we get. We just had Jurassic Park, the new Jurassic Park movie.
I enjoyed that.
We had the Top Gun movie. So we get, and of course during the summer we have mostly children's films because all the kids are out of school. So we have a lot of Disney type movies for the summer.
Okay,
that's great. And that's an old theater?
It's an old theater. It's not the original old theater, but it is an old theater. Yes.
Okay.
So it seats what? About 300 more? No, I'm just kidding. So can you share with us cost of living, like groceries, how the prices?
So here's the thing: is that I like to say that Lincoln is 2 weeks from anywhere. It just takes time. If you order stuff, it takes time for it to get here.
Oh, okay.
And being in a small town, we don't have the buying power. So our groceries are a little more expensive, but a lot of people will pool together and even go to Salina, which is only 45 minutes away. But there's all kinds of things to do in Salina. It's a bigger metropolitan area. So there's, more theater and dining and shopping. Some people will just go once a week or once a month and do their bigger shopping in the bigger city.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned there are some retirees moving to Lincoln. Are there any artists moving there because of the price?
Well, so there is I have an artist enclave, not too, maybe 20 to 30 miles from here, in a town called Lucas. And you should really look up that town. It's a hoot. And there's so many really cool artsy, crafty, fun things there. Now we do have some artists that live here, and they do teach classes, and we have an art center here in town as well that we do a monthly exhibit. So there's always something new and exciting to go see. Yeah,
very nice. Would you recommend Lincoln to a prospective retiree, and tell us why?
Absolutely. Lincoln is it's a small town, but it's a very welcoming town. I was brought in with open arms here, and people love new things. Lincoln is just a nice, cost-effective. There's so much to do here if you put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I do, I'm on boards. I try to be in the community. There's a lot to, although it's small, there's a lot to do. We'll complain, oh, there's nothing to do here. There's plenty to do.
Sure. No, I get it.
So can you give us some examples of some fun things to do? Are there festivals? Are there?
Well,
all right, go on.
We basically, once a month, basically, we have a parade for something. We will have a parade for anything.
I love it.
Main Street's only 4 blocks long, but the police will, the sheriffs will close down the streets and what have you. Actually, last month we had 4 boys that were going to state for track, and
nice.
So they closed the street and they had this big police escort for one van.
I love it.
But the whole town came together and they were cheering and clapping and had signs. So it's a lot of it's a lot of fun. I mean, we have a Christmas parade and a Halloween and 4th of July, and so it's a lot of fun.
I have to tell you right now, I'm thinking of there was this great Hallmark movie. I know, Gene, you make fun of me, and I don't always watch Hallmark, but sometimes some of these shows during the holidays they're just so warm and cozy, and what you just said sparked that show. A lot of people know each other.
Yeah.
The shops are small, but they provide a lot. Like a general store would have a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily need a Walmart or anything for. I mean, how much do we need in life, right? We only need basic things. Yeah. And really that's, yeah. So I get it. If you move there and you want a nice, simple life where the cost is fair, you know what I mean?
Very fair.
Yeah. And the housing is incredible. Man, it's a gem. It really is.
Yeah. It is. And now I also have to say that we're getting a new fitness center.
Oh.
Yeah. So Kelly Gorley, who spearheads a lot of things here in town, she decided to buy this building and has been renovating it for the last couple of years. I think we're about 1 to 2 months away. We're just waiting on all the equipment to arrive, but it's been so exciting to see the transformation of Main Street. It makes me sad when I see empty spots on Main Street. So it's nice that people are coming in and wanting to, to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. So there's no gym right now.
There is no gym right now, but there will be. I guess there was years ago, but this is going to be a nice facility.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good for you guys. because we actually this past weekend we were going to a flea market in New Milford, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. We stayed overnight nearby in a town, Danbury, Connecticut. And, I think we had driven through there before, but we were in downtown, the Main Street area. And I always get excited when we get to, these main streets because this is where all the coffee shops are, et cetera, et cetera. But much to our, surprise, most of the storefronts were just closed. Mm. Some places that were in business, they were just closed for that day. Like you said, Monday, Tuesday, right? But there were really like 2-3 restaurants. I mean, along like 4 or 5 blocks.
And it was a nice main street.
It was a very nice main street. Yeah. But, people, whether it be COVID or just bad times.
We don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we go often to, like say upstate New York, and you see these towns and you can see the robustness that was once there, but now it's just kind of empty. And
it's sad.
It's really sad. So it's so nice to hear this, first of all, that you got everyone to be able to eat Monday through Sunday, right? And that's a feat in and of itself. Because if for tourists, for example, even if we were just going through, we wouldn't know what's going on. At least there's a place, you're not always going to cook. So
yeah, talk about tourists. Is there a hotel in town?
Well, there's the Post Rock Motel, and that is on the crossroads of 14 and 18 Highway. There are several Airbnb rentals here in town. There used to be just a regular bed and breakfast, but I think that has closed. But yeah, so there's plenty places to stay.
Well, the free land is the deal.
Yes,
and I think that would attract a lot of people.
Yeah, you talked about the track team. Is high school football a big deal there, like it is in a lot of places out in the Midwest?
Oh, sure. We are leopard proud here.
Yay, go Leopards. Okay.
Go Leopards.
Yeah.
Friday nights they play?
Oh yeah, I mean it's so fun because like I'll go and volunteer and sell concessions at like a track meet or what have you, but getting into the community is, I mean, I don't have children, but it's fun to go and be with my friends and to support those things. But yeah, no, we have a robust athletic program, and although we're a small school, obviously, we have a very nice, fairly new facility. And we have the old high school, which is on the south side of town. It's a huge old brick building that is just dying to be renovated.
Yeah.
Some condos or apartments or something.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, wait till you get your hands on that. That'll be cool. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Gene, anything else?
No, I think that's great. But I think you hit it on the head, Gil. The free land, there's got to be people out there who
I mean, you can put anything on it, right? If the city is supportive and you get the land, you could put a manufactured home, I assume, or you could, can you right? Yeah.
It just needs to be the state codes.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't really city codes.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting. You can except on that land, they're a little more strict on state codes. But Lincoln has, when I was coming here as a kid 40 years ago, there were about 2,500 people that lived here. So it had a really sharp decline, and it's really nifty that we're kind of turning things around and people are moving here, and because a lot of people can work remotely.
Yes. Yes.
And the kind of the cool thing is the school is that you have small class sizes, and so you have a little more one-on-one with the teacher. Again, it's walkable. There's lots to do and activities and groups, and I mean, we have churches, let me tell you, and there are a lot of small towns around here. We've got Beverly and Barnard and Lucas and Sylvan Grove and Vesper and Hunter. I mean, there's so many little towns within Lincoln County.
Very cool. All right. So great. This has been really, really great. I'm so happy to have met you and to have heard all this, which we would have never known. What?
Well, I appreciate you reaching out to me, and it's been fun talking with you. Sorry I don't have a Whole Foods or anything like that.
Hey, listen, we have a Whole Foods and we really don't go.
It's so expensive.
And I don't understand, why is there no diet soda or soda in Whole Foods? Amazon.
It's Whole Foods.
I know it's Whole Foods. I get it. All right. I'm sorry.
It's called the whole paycheck, isn't it? But
exactly.
Okay, here's the thing at Whole Foods, and this is kind of a trick. If you want to get bacon, buy it from the salad bar because it's already cooked, and it's the same price as it is raw.
Really?
Wow, that is a good trick.
Yeah.
Okay, there. I have to remember that the next time I have bacon. And look, we do like Trader Joe's, and if you've listened to our episodes, I love Trader Joe's, and that's more affordable. Although I wouldn't say it's Whole Foods at all. But even then, we don't go that often. At the end of the day, some of the green markets do well. And we have one in our little neighborhood, which I rarely go to. But the supermarket basically has everything we need. And I mean, Gene and I we'd probably do too much takeout or too much eating out. But at the end of the day, we make a run to our local supermarket and it's got everything we need.
Yeah.
So, less is more sometimes, right?
Yeah.
True. And a lot of people around here have gardens, of course, and they can and pickle, and that's a lot of fun to do too.
Oh, okay, okay. We see that in your future, Brett.
Yes.
I do. I pickle with my friend Gwen. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, he does pickle.
I don't get it though. These restaurants, they pickle everything. It's too much.
Yeah, that seems to
too
be
much
the
of
latest,
the pickling.
The latest trend in a couple of years.
Pickling is for pickles.
All right.
Well, that's all I pickled is pickles.
You're okay then.
All right.
Bradley.
All right.
Okay.
On that note.
Wait. So do you have any advice for someone wanting to move to a small town such as Lincoln, Kansas?
I would say that if you want to go to a small town, not necessarily Lincoln, but anywhere, just get on the road and go and meet people in town. There's a gal here in town she was driving to Denver from Kansas City, and she heard something about a show at Lincoln Center. And I think they were talking about New York. But just as soon as she heard that on NPR or whatever radio station it was, she saw a sign that said Lincoln Center. So guess what? She turned and drove here. She ended up selling her home and quitting her job in Kansas City and moving to Lincoln.
Thinking it was Lincoln Center.
No.
But she fell in love once she finally got here. Oh. And so she didn't have a job or anything. She just ended up, working part-time and, at the mortuary of all places. And she's just become a part of Lincoln. She had no family here, never been here before, but she just stumbled across it and fell in love.
Wow.
That's a great story.
That's a great story. Okay. And on that note. Yeah. Thank you, Bradley. It was a real pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. Thank you for reaching out and good luck to you all. And I'll look forward to hearing some more episodes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And we'll be in touch.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you know someone who's relocated for retirement and wishes to share their story with us, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is gg@retirethere.com. Our website is retirethere.com, and you may follow us on Twitter @retirethere_. Now, if you've liked our show, please subscribe and rate it in Apple Podcasts. In the meantime, be well.